come back from halftime. There's our whistle drawing halftime to a close on that Jam on Hawthorne Jam line. We've got Freight Train up against Sally Handsome. Penalty box is cleared. Freight Train out for lead after finding a lane on the outside. Sally Handsome quickly to the top, one to beat. Handsome about a lap behind. Freight Train through, picking up all four, calls it off. Lala Tiburona up against Schadenfreude. Lala, lead jammer, manages to beat out Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude getting caught up on a mark, and Gangster .2 points on the board for Rose. Ghetto Fabulous and Jackpot facing off once again. Habanero Romero covering the outside, backed up by Donnie Darko. Jackpot through for lead jammer. Ghetto Fabulous still stuck. Recycled back by Katie. Jackpot working up at the top against Cracker Jack and company. Gaffney coming in with the offensive help. Jackpot putting 4 up for Rose. 2 downsider star pass on Angel to Rachel Rotten. Nice job by Katie and Darko to go ahead and clear partial lane for Jackpot, allowing 4 on the board for Rose. Jackpot and Trinity. Trinity taking the inside. Jackpot. Freight Train up at the top, getting around Brute and Skinner. Trinity trying the inside, finding Cracker Jack. Freight Train nudged to the inside, recycled by Brute. Back to the top of turn 1. Skinner, Brute, and Carl holding Freight Train for a second, getting assistance. Freight Train blocking Trinity from getting around. Trinity able to juke around. Freight Train calling it off. It's Evangelical and Schadenfreude on the line. Penalty box, once again clear. Habanero Romero and Katie Postma off the line, able to slow down Schadenfreude, allowing Evangelical to get through. Blackman headed to the penalty box on a direction. Evangelical getting advice to call it after picking up 3. 1 point on the board for Angel City, that jam. Sally Handsome up against Freight Train. Freight Train getting some help from Rachel Rotten off the line. Not enough. Sally Handsome gets through for lead. Freight Train trying the outside, finding a mark in Gangster and Company. Sally Handsome a full lap ahead, trying to fight through, pick up those 4 and call it off. Skinner headed to the penalty box at the whistle. On something. That was a direction on Skinner. Lala Tiburona and Ghetto Fabulous. Ghetto quickly to the top, hit to the inside. Slowed down by Gaffney. Gaffney, Habanero Romero, and Darko up at the top. Darko and Habanero Romero keeping Ghetto in place. Offensive help from Blackman coming in. Lala stuck behind Queen Luzia, Tifa, Crackerjack. Schadenfreude, meanwhile, lead jammer for the Scarlets. Schadenfreude hit to the inside by Darko, recycled just a little bit. Lala Tiburona around on a spin move, free on initial. Schadenfreude sneaking around Gaffney, calling it off. 3 up for the Scarlets. The lead jammer was equally spread between the two teams in the first period. Angel City got 10 lead jams to AOA's 9. Ghetto Fabulous through for lead here. Jackpot taking a whip off of Gangster. Beautiful job. Angel City dropping 2 bridges to extend the pack. Jackpot forced to let go. Through on initial. Ghetto Fabulous calling it off. Trinity and Bermuda Biangle. Trinity taking the outside lane. 1 to beat and Tui Lion. Well, it was 1 to beat. Tui getting a penalty, a forearm off of that. Trinity recycled back to the jam line. Queen Luzia Tifa pushing Trinity to the inside along with Blackman. Bermuda Biangle locked down at the top of the pack. Trinity lead jammer, Bermuda Biangle about 20 feet behind. Great job by Freddie Herfury to goat Death Down Under. 2 points on the board for Rose. Evangelical and Freight Train jamming once again. Evangelical up at the top. Lead jammer goes to Rose. Freight Train bouncing off of every Rose City blocker there. Evangelical picking up one and calling it off. Sally Handsome and Ghetto Fabulous. Nice chase down by Darko. Catch at the top. Ghetto Fabulous, lead jammer for Angel. Two downsider star pass on Rose to Katie Postma. Angel City calls it off after picking up two, holding Rose scoreless in that jam. Lala Tiberona and Schadenfreude both jamming. Schadenfreude picking up a cut track. That will leave Lala in a power jam. Just kidding, Lala also headed to the penalty box on a forearm. We're gonna do a jammer swap. Schadenfreude released back onto the track. Nice catch by Amara up at the top. Lala back on the track as well. Beautiful job by Brute. Amazing offensive help to get Lala through. Penalty box is clear. Lala recycled back by Death Down Under. Direction being called on Amara. Forearm being called on Cracker Jack of Angel City. Big hit by Queen Luz Utifa. Cut track being called on Lala. Schadenfreude trying to get around Carl. The Gangster back on the track. Kind of a revolving door in that Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box. Queen Luz Utifa and Perfect coming in for offensive help there right at the end of the jam. 4 points up for Angel City. Timeout being called by Axel's Annihilation. This timeout brought to you by the Rose City's official realtor, Deb Constaper, and welcome to PDX. Lala Tiburona starting in the penalty box up against Freight Train. Freight Train lead jammer. Lala back on the track. Freight Train trying the outside. Inside. Finding Brute, Habanero Romero, Gaffney, and Katie Postma. Multiplayer being called on Habanero Romero. Freight Train through for 4 for Angel. 2 downsider star pass on Axels to Katie Postma. Blackman headed to the penalty box on illegal contact. Whiskey Von Sweets headed to the penalty box on a direction. Rachel Rotten headed to the penalty box as well. Katie Postma out 4 points. Katie headed to the penalty box on a low block. Rachel Rotten recalled back to the penalty box to serve time for a back block. That last jam with 16 points on the board is the largest jam that we've had so far this game. By and large, jams have been pretty low. We have a team timeout being called for Angel City. This timeout brought to you by RCR's official realtor, Deb Constable, and welcome to PDX. Katie Postma starting this jam in the box up against Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude through on a spin move for lead. Brute headed to the penalty box on a multiplayer. Katie is out of the box. Katie through on initial. Schadenfreude going ahead and calling it off. Brute stuck in the box. Jackpot and Ghetto Fabulous. Ghetto taking the outside, picking up lead. Able to get around Gaffney and Habanero Romero. Jackpot still stuck in the middle of that chaotic pack. Perfect, headed to the penalty box. I believe I heard Kira say forearm. Smush just told me as well. Jackpot through on initial. Ghetto Fabulous escorted to the outside by Habanero Romero. Angel City picked up 1 point on that jam. Sally Handsome and Freight Train wearing the stars this jam. Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box with 1 in it. Angel City starting with slight pack disadvantage. Beautiful offense by Tui Lion off the line. Sally Handsome able to get lead. Freight Train with 1 to beat in Brute. Handsome coming around, looking to put points up. Finding Tui instead. Angel very happy to hold Rose scoreless on that jam. Evangelical and Schadenfreude. Beautiful job by Freddie and company to hold Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude taking the outside. Evangelical is lead. The pack is on the move. Evangelical picking up 2 hard-fought points. Penalty box is clear. Both teams starting with 5 on the track. With Lala Tiburona jamming for the Axles up against Stiletto for the Scarlets. Stiletto working against all the Rose blockers. Lala picking up a forearm. That is going to leave Stiletto in a power jam. Angel City failed to field a pivot this jam. Let's see if the Axles can neutralize this 30-second power jam. Stiletto recycled to the back. Nice catch by Gangster up at the top. Tui Lion coming in, trying to break things up. Same with Blackman and Rachel Rotten. That was a great job by Axles to neutralize that power jam. Lala back on the track. Lead jammer still has not been declared. It could be Lala's. Stiletto recycled back by Kid Vicious. Lala through on initial. Lala 1 to beat in Tui. Nice chase down attempt. 4 on the board for the Axles. Jackpot and Freight Train. Jackpot, beautiful breakaway. Lead jammer goes to Rose. Star pass, two-downsider star pass to Death Down Under on the Scarlets. 2 points up for Rose. That's a team timeout being called for the Scarlets. This timeout brought to you by RCR's official realtor, Deb Constaber, and welcome to PDX. Sally Handsome and Ghetto Fabulous wearing the stars. Penalty box is clear. Sally Handsome, beautiful job around the outside. Lead goes to Rose. Ghetto Fabulous hit to the outside, recycled long by Bruton Skinner. Handsome re-engaging, looking to put points up for Rose. Through on the inside. We've got a two-downsider star pass on Angel to Tui Lion. Pack is moving. Sally looking to put a few more points on the board. Great job.
I think Dark's checking her.
Evangelical and Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude quickly to the top, finding Freddie and company. Evangelical riding the outside line. Evangelical out, not lead, however, because of a no earned pass. Team timeout being called for Rose. This timeout brought to you by Deb Constaber, and welcome to PDX, the official realtor of the Rose City Rollers. Freight Train facing off against Jackpot once again. Angel City starting on the pivot line, allowing Jackpot a little bit of a run up. Freight Train one to beat, and then Kid Vicious. Lead Jammer goes to Freight Train and Angel. Two downsider star pass on Rose to Brute. Evangelical and Schadenfreude. Evangelical lead jammer for Rose. Queen Luzia Tifa going and taking a seat in that penalty box on a multiplayer. Schadenfreude out on initial. Evangelical busting through, picking up 4, looking to call it. AOA closing that gap between the two teams with just about 3 minutes left on the clock. Lala Tiburona and Freight Train wearing the jammer caps. Freight Train quickly powering to the top. Gangster and Carl, the last to beat. Two downsider star pass from Lala to Brute. Freight Train picking up 2 and calling it off. Schadenfreude in Jackpot. Rose lining up on that Jam on Hawthorne jammer line. Tui Lion setting up for plays right off the line. Schadenfreude lead. Two downsider star pass on the Axles of Annihilation to Katie Postma. Schadenfreude hit to the inside, recycled by Gaffney. Nice job by Freddie to stop Queen Luzia Tifa on that run back. That's a direction being called on Death Down Under. Katie Postma through for 4. Oh, beautiful backwards apex jump by Katie. 20 points between the teams. Katie through for another 4. Rose City able to poach 12 points. 20 points left with 1 more jam on the clock while Rose City calls a timeout. A Deb Count Saber and a welcome to PDX timeout. in this likely last jam of the game. Evangelical facing off against Freight Train. Evangelical trying the outside. Beautiful job by the Rose blockers up at the top to slow Freight Train down. Death Down Ender coming in with the offensive help. Rose able to shrug it off. Angel City with 2 in the box. No lead jammer declared yet. It's Evangelical. Evangelical is lead. We are off the period clock and on the jam clock alone. Beautiful apex jump up for Evangelical and the Rose City Rollers. That's a multiplayer being called on Brute. Evangelical trying to sneak past those Angel City blockers. Freight Train with 1 to beat. Evangelical picking up a final 4. That brings us to the end of our game. We have an unofficial score. Axles of Annihilation 116 to the Hollywood Scarlets 128.
Hey folks, did you know that your head is not normal? No one's is. If your helmet size is a small, but your teammate's size is an extra large, wearing the same helmet shell doesn't just look kind of funny. The functionality of the EPS foam and how it disperses impact energy is compromised.
The 888 certified Sweat Saver comes in better shell size options than our leading competitor,
giving you the highest level of protection upon impact. Try it for yourself. We've got you.